If you've been told that walking 10,000 steps every day is the key to losing fat, you're not wrong. Walking is useful, and I still do it every single day. But here's what most people do not realise. I walk 10,000 steps a day for 6 months, and my body composition barely changed. But 5 minutes of what I'm about to show you changed more in 8 weeks than those 6 months ever did. So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you why 10,000 steps isn't the magic number most people think it is, what I actually do alongside walking to get leaner, more efficiently, and exactly how to apply it regardless of your fitness level or what equipment you've got access to. Because I've been a personal trainer for 11 years and delivered over 8,500 one-to-one sessions alongside with training myself for 14 years. And the clearest way I can show you why this matters starts with the most common mistake I see people make when they're trying to get lean and running out of time to do it. And to explain why 10,000 steps isn't the whole answer, I want to be clear about something first, because this isn't a walking is bad video. Walking is brilliant. It's low impact, easy to recover from, it reduces stress, it keeps you moving without wrecking your body, and getting more daily movement into a busy life genuinely makes a difference. I walk every day, and I recommend it to every single client I work with. But the problem isn't walking. The problem is the belief that 10,000 steps is a magic number, and that hitting it every day is enough to drive fat loss on its own. Whereas 10,000 steps takes most people somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half to complete. For someone with a demanding job, kids, a social life, and 3 sessions already in the diary, finding that time consistently is genuinely hard and may lead to an earful off your partner too, which isn't ideal. And when it doesn't happen, people feel like they've failed or fallen behind, when actually the issue was never the step target. It was that the goal wasn't built around the life they were actually living. And I went through a phase a few years ago back where I was genuinely stressed about hitting 10k steps every day. I'd be pacing around the kitchen at 9 p.m. trying to get the number up, which is fucking mental, I know. And the irony was that my body composition wasn't really moving despite all of that. But once I stopped obsessing over the target and added what I'm about to show you instead, things shifted in a way that they hadn't in months. And here's the specific thing I figured out from that. 5 minutes of the right kind of effort produces a better result than 90 minutes of walking for most busy people anyway. It's not instead of walking though, it's alongside it. And the 5 minutes actually fits in the gaps that a busy week creates in a way that chasing a daily step target often doesn't. Also, the training structure I'm about to describe fits alongside the Softer Lean program in the description. It's 3 full body sessions a week and built for people who don't want to spend hours in the gym 6 days per week. It's totally free, links below. And before I reveal the exact strategy I use for the interval training, here's what walking is actually good for, because this is the bit most stop walking 10k steps a day video gets completely wrong. And it annoys me a little bit, if I'm honest. Walking keeps you moving throughout the day in a way that adds up. For someone who spends most of the day sitting at a desk like I'm doing now, and like a lot of my clients do, getting more walking in makes a real difference to total daily calorie burn without any meaningful recovery cost. You can walk every day without it affecting your training at all. Walking also manages stress, helps with sleep quality, and is something most people can do consistently for the rest of their life without injury or burnout, unless obviously you don't have legs. It's not crazy, it doesn't burn a huge number of calories in one go, but across the week and months, it really does add up. And it does add up into something that actually makes a difference. The mistake though isn't doing it. The mistake is treating it as the primary fat loss tool and spending significant time chasing a specific number rather than just moving more consistently throughout the day. So that's why I recommend doing this instead. So here's the 5 minutes that makes the difference and why it works when time is the real constraint. The protocol is pretty bloody simple. 20 seconds of hard effort, 10 seconds of rest, repeated for 10 rounds. Sounds like a lot, but that's just 5 minutes of actual work. And it's called Tabata. And the specific name matters less than what it actually does. Because I have a lot of clients ask me, what the bloody hell does that mean? It's just the name of the intervals. It's hard effort followed by a short recovery, repeated 10 times, with a rest period short enough that they can fully recover before the next round starts. And here's the bit most people get completely wrong when they first try this. 20 seconds genuinely needs to feel bloody hard. Not just a little bit uncomfortable, I mean breathing noticeably heavier, where you couldn't hold a normal conversation. And by round 7 or 8, you're properly working for it. If you finish 10 rounds feeling like you could have done 5 more, the intensity wasn't there, and neither will the result. In terms of equipment you do these intervals on, it doesn't really matter matter too much. A spin bike, a row machine, a treadmill, sprinting outside, even fast uphill walking. The exercise doesn't change the protocol. What changes the result is how hard you go in each interval and whether the rest period is short enough to keep what makes the whole thing actually hard. Although, that being said, I prefer to do these intervals on an indoor bike. And as you get fitter, add rounds rather than shortening the rest. 10 rounds becomes 12, 12 becomes 15, etc. It's just like lifting. You can't just cruise along hoping you'll get fitter. You've got to keep dialing up the intensity over time if you want to keep seeing those results. Melissa, my client here, is the one who showed me most clearly why this specific approach works for people whose weeks don't really have any room to spare to add loads of different things in. She had 3 kids, school runs morning and evening, and a schedule that had pretty much no margin for a 60 to 90 minute cardio session at any point during the week, or any 60 to 90 minute session at all for that matter. She'd been walking when she could, trying to hit those 10k steps or try to come as close as she can to it. Some days she did come close, other days absolutely nowhere near it. And the consistency wasn't there because the time just wasn't there either. She was doing everything she could with the time she had, and it still wasn't enough. That's a horrible feeling, and it's the one I hear from a lot of people who come to me having genuinely tried and not seen the result they expected. It's almost never that they haven't worked hard enough. It's that the approach hasn't been built around the life they're actually living. So when we worked together, we built everything around her actual week. The 3 full body session structure covered the strength side of things, 3 full body sessions built around the school run schedule, never more than 45 minutes in the gym. And for the cardio work, we added Tabata cycling intervals on the spin bike at the end of 2 of those sessions. 20 seconds hard, 10 seconds rest, 10 rounds. It was just 5 minutes tagged on. And she ended up losing 15 pounds in 16 weeks. And it wasn't because the protocol was complicated, but because it was simple enough to fit around everything else in her life without anything in her life having to change dramatically. And she sent me a message about 10 weeks in that said something like, "I can't believe this is all it took." She'd been trying to find time for longer sessions and hitting 10k plus steps every day for years. And the spin bike specifically was the right call for her because it's low impact, you can go hard as fuck without the injury risk that comes with running intervals on tired legs, and you control everything about it. But the same protocol works on a row machine, an elliptical, a treadmill, or outside. All you need to do is have that hard effort for 20 seconds, recovery for 10, and do 10 times. The exercise changes, but the principle doesn't. And as I said, the Softer Lean program in the description has the full training structure she used. 3 sessions a week, built around real life, and it's the one I use as well. It's free in the description or the comments. So here's the practical version, because knowing the protocol is one thing, but knowing exactly where it fits is what makes it usable. So if you're already doing 3 strength sessions a week, add the Tabata at the end of 2 of those sessions. You're already warm, it only takes 5 minutes, and the combination of strength work followed by short intervals is one of the most efficient uses of gym time. If you're not doing strength work yet, the intervals can be a standalone session, but the strength training should come first as a priority. Intervals without lifting produces results that are harder to maintain over time because you're not keeping the muscle that makes the result actually show up. You're not building the muscle underneath. If you're a beginner, start with 10 rounds and make sure the hard intervals are actually uncomfortable rather than brutal. So say a 7 out of 10 effort. So you should finish feeling like you've worked hard, but not like you need to sit down for 20 minutes to recover. And if 10 rounds feels like too much to start with, 8 is absolutely fine. The point is that you just start doing them. If you've got joint issues or you can't run, the spin bike or row machine are the obvious choices because it's low impact and you control everything about it. And you can go as hard as you need to without putting stress on your knees, your ankles, or your hips. Also, a brisk uphill walk for the hard intervals is also completely fine if that's the level you're at. The principle is the relative effort, not the absolute speed. But as you get fitter, add rounds. 10 becomes 12, 12 becomes 15, but don't shorten the rest period though. That 10 seconds is what makes the protocol work. Reduce it and the whole thing stops being as effective. And here's the thing most people don't expect once they start doing this alongside regular walking. The walking gets a lot easier, not because they're doing less of it, but because the cardio fitness that comes from the intervals makes everyday movement feel significantly less effort. The two things complement each other rather than competing. 10,000 steps a day isn't the enemy. It's a useful target for daily movement, and I never tell anyone to stop walking. But for anyone whose week doesn't have room for 90 minutes of walking on top of everything else, 5 minutes of Tabata intervals fits where the step target just isn't ideal. But here's where most people then hit the next problem, even once the training is sorted and the cardio is producing results. And it's got nothing to do with how much they're moving. The thing that determines how quickly the fat comes off, even when the training is completely right, is almost always something most people haven't looked at properly yet. And I've got a video that covers exactly what it is somewhere over here, so watch that next.